In this video today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to film yourself using nothing but your phone. No fancy cameras or lighting kits in a studio, just some of the tricks and tips that I picked up when I built 2 YouTube channels from the ground up. And by the way, if you're new here, hello, I'm Dee, and I teach people over 40 how to start a YouTube channel and actually turn it into some money, turn it into a business, not just post videos and hope that something happens. And if you keep putting off starting a channel because you don't like the way the camera makes you look or you think it's going to take too much of your time, this video is for you. So first, let's talk about your phone. And yes, you absolutely can use your phone. I've seen some of the most amazing videos come out from people's cell phones. I used my phone for over 2 years and never had a single problem. So let's go through exactly how you're going to use it. First, you're going to need a way to hold it up, and a basic tripod just like this one. I got this one on Amazon. I've actually got a couple of them. My husband keeps confiscating them to use them to look at his golf swing. This is perfect. I actually use this one because it is 64 inches tall, and that way I can stand up and record as well as sit down. I also have this magnetic phone clip on the top. That way I can just take my phone and pop it on like that. I can either record like this, I can record like this and look into the back camera. So either way, it is worth it to me to have a good tripod. And this one obviously needs some tightening. I also have this one, which has got these little squiggly legs that you could wrap around things like a fence post or a door handle. This one is a little bit janky. It's not the best quality in the world, but it was inexpensive, and I don't use it that often. You can sit it on the, you can sit it in some tighter spaces. You can sit it on a table or on your kitchen counter. So I'm going to link all this stuff in the description below. You can look at it. You might find something you like better, but these are really handy to have just for those kitchen counter moments. Another thing that I like to use is this little sticky. It goes on the back of my phone. Actually, you can put it on the back or the front, just stick it to it. And then you can stick your phone to the window in your car. You can put it on the window in your kitchen or even the mirror in your bathroom. You can get some really good shots in some tight places on this one. Now, if you don't want to buy any of that, that's fine. You can always use books or some kind of boxes to stack your phone up, to put your phone on. However, I find that my phone always slips around, and right in the middle of filming, it slides down, and then I have to start all over again. So for me, it's a tripod all the way. But whatever you do, you always want to keep your camera at eye level. This makes you look a little more authentic and not like you're actually talking down to people. So now that you've got your tripod set up, you're going to need to think about which camera are you going to use, whether it's the front camera or the back camera. This selfie camera, I don't recommend it because, first of all, it's not that great. And second of all, we always have a tendency to look at ourselves instead of looking exactly into the camera lens, so that we're, like when you film, you don't look like you're looking at the person. You look like you're looking off to the side. And I know filming on your back camera, you think, well, but then I can't see myself to know if I'm in frame. Well, guess what though? This is a much better camera. You're going to have a much better picture, and it's just going to make you look so much better. Now, I do have a couple of tricks for that. One is if you have an Apple Watch and you have an iPhone, you can control your camera. You can see on your Apple Watch what you look like in frame. You can also start the camera. So I would suggest, if you have an Apple Watch, I'm not telling you to go buy one. If you already have one, sync it up to your camera so that you can see what you're doing. The other one is, and I don't have it here with me, is they now have monitors that go on the back of your phone so that you can see yourself when you're recording. I did buy one of those. I will link one in the description. I will not link the one that I bought because it didn't do so great, so I have sent it back, and I'm waiting on the new one to get here. So let's talk about these cameras here. So if you've got your phone propped up away from you, you may not know which one of these little lenses you should be looking into. And I have an opinion about this. I feel like if you are far enough away from your camera when you're looking at it, if you're looking in the general vicinity of these lenses, you're going to be looking directly at the camera. But if you really want to know which camera it is, just put your phone on record, hold your finger over each one until you come to the one where your finger actually covers up the camera. That way you'll know which lens you need to be recording from. I think mine is this one for the most part. But honestly, I don't think this is a very big deal. I think you're going to be looking at the camera. These 3 lenses actually give you the capability to zoom in and zoom out. I don't recommend zooming in unless you're showing something that you're doing. But on your face, I would say leave it where it's at. Leave your camera setting right where it's at, because the more you zoom in, the more things and imperfections you're going to see on your face, and you're going to hate it. I mean, I can actually see the pores down into my pores on my skin, and it's awful. So just leave those settings alone. Leave it at your standard 1 times. That's the classic YouTuber setup. Because you know how when you zoom in a little bit, it just kind of makes your face all funny and your nose a little warped. You don't want that. Now, one quick tip while we're talking about our cell phone is you can go in and change the lighting. You can change the exposure on your phone. And sometimes I will go up to 1 on the exposure, and that will give me a little more light on my face so that it's just a little bit blurred out for those of you that might want just a little bit of a filter. Not too much though. You still want to look real. But for most of what you're doing, especially early on, leaving the settings alone will be just fine. Now there is one setting that you're going to want to change, and that is your frame rate. You want to film in 4K 30 frames per second. And on an iPhone, you'll find it under Settings, your camera, then Record Video. And you can make changes here. And this does take a lot of memory. So check your memory on your phone before you start. And you can go to Settings, General, iPhone storage, and this will tell you exactly how much storage you've got available. I know for me that many of my videos use about 10 to 20 gigabytes of memory, so make sure you have enough or it's going to cut off as soon as your phone is full, and you're not going to know it until you get done recording. And then you're going to have to refilm that part all over again. Another tip here is to turn on your Do Not Disturb. Text messages, I don't think, cut off the recording usually, but phone calls can. And this way, if you turn on your Do Not Disturb, you're not going to be interrupted right in the middle of the best part of your video. And on an iPhone, you can swipe down from the top right corner and click on the half moon, and you can silence all notifications. Then you don't have to worry about this. So I would suggest just getting you a little checklist to keep beside your phone so that you make sure you've done all these things right. Okay, and the last tip here is to clean your lens. You'd be surprised at how much gunk and fingerprints and smudges can get in those lenses and build up, and this can leave your video looking blurry. And I picked up this little eyeglass cleaner from the Sunglass Hut. I don't use the cleaner on my lens, I just use the cloth that came with it, and I wipe off the front and the back. The eyeglass cleaner is actually for my eyeglasses because I can't read anymore. Okay, so I thought of 2 other quick tips I'm going to throw in right here. One, you can put your phone on cinematic mode. If you have a newer iPhone, I don't know about all the other phones out there, I only know about iPhone. You can put it on cinematic mode, and it's going to give you this nice blurry background feeling like you would get from a professional camera. It doesn't change anything else, and it's actually really cool, especially if your background's not amazing. The other thing is, I've made you a checklist for all of this stuff on it so that when you get ready to record, you can just print it out and have it beside you, and you've made sure you've checked off everything on this list. I'll put the link down in the description below. So let's talk about lighting, because this is very important too. When I don't have proper lights, the first thing I look for is a bright window. Natural light is some of the best source of light that you're going to ever use, and you already have it in your house and it's free, as long as you're not filming at night or on a rainy day. And you don't want to sit with your back to it. You want to look for a window, and you want to face the window. This is going to put the light on your face, not on your back, because when you have the window behind you, that's called being backlit, and it makes you look like a dark shadow with this bright window glowing back here behind you. Instead, you're going to want the light to be in front of you, or just maybe a little bit off to the side. And sometimes I have to move around to different spots in the house just to find the right space. Now, the next thing you need to think about is keeping your line straight. You want to give yourself some headroom. So you want to make sure that the phone is straight, it's not tilted this way, it's not tilted that way, or backwards and forwards, because it can make the lines, like I have molding here and I have a desk there, and if my camera was a little bit crooked, those could look a little crooked, and even you can look a little crooked. So you want to make sure you're straight up and down in the shot, because a wonky or tilted phone instantly makes a video feel unprofessional, even if everything else is great. And when you film yourself, let that top of your head just barely touch the top of the frame. Don't have a huge gap there and a lot of empty space between you and the top. You want to be close enough, but you don't want to cut yourself off. And I know that sounds like a lot of information there, but it's really not. All you need to do is find your window, angle yourself to it, and give yourself something a little bit interesting behind you, and turn on your phone. Keep your phone level, and just hit record. Okay, so let's talk about the part that scares most people the most, and that's actually being on camera. And I felt very awkward the first time, or 12, but you know, we have to do it if we want to make this into a business. But that feeling doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means that you're doing something new, and new things always feel strange before they feel like it's something normal. So think about it this way. If you can just talk to that one person, not the whole audience, not 10,000 people, that's the one thing that helped me more than anything, was picturing Just one person on the other side of the camera, not hundreds of strangers. Picture your friend or your sister or a coworker, and just talk to them like I'm talking to you right now. That one mental trick will take that pressure instantly off. It's okay to let your videos feel rough for the first 10 or 12. You're allowed to feel stiff and a little weird. It's not a sign to quit. It's just what learning looks like. Because I promise you, after you've got 10, 20 videos under your belt, you're gonna really recognize how far you've come. I had somebody comment the other day on one of my videos that I made like 6 or 8 months ago. They said, oh, you keep looking off to the side and I can tell you're just reading from a script and you're trying to fake it. It just looks fake. Well, yeah. Well, I just started. I was doing my best. But you know what? I didn't care. That was the best I could do. And the funny thing is that video has got almost 300,000 views. So don't worry about how you look or sound at first. You're gonna get more comfortable as you practice more. If you'll do a quick warm-up before you press record, say your first opening line out loud once or twice and kind of get comfortable with it. Just be yourself. I know it sounds small, but it takes the edge off of that first take immediately. And I actually record like a minute or 2 of my videos and I stop the recording and then I watch it. I want to make sure the sound is good, that I'm framed in the shot properly, that my head is not too close to the top and being cut off, and I want to make sure I'm in the middle. I use a microphone. This is a DJI wireless mic mini. I absolutely love it. I have had the most amazing experience with this microphone. But people connect with real, not perfect. They don't care if you mess up from time to time. It's fine. You don't have to look polished and perfect. They're just wanting to see a real person. They don't care if you stumble over your words. That makes you just a little bit more relatable. I mean, look at it this way. You probably didn't go into your job on the first day knowing how to do everything. It took some learning. It took practice before most things became second nature. And I bet that you constantly had new things thrown at you that you didn't know how to handle. And this is no different. It just takes a little learning. It takes a little practice. It'll take a little research from time to time. But soon you're going to be able to shoot a 10-minute video in less than 30 minutes. You're going to be able to knock it out. And here's a bonus for you. Once you actually know what you're going to say before you hit record, this whole being on camera thing just gets 100% easier. Half of your camera anxiety is not really the camera at all. It's not knowing what's going to come out of your mouth next. And I'm going to die on this hill. If you know your material, you should be able to talk about it for days. You just need to get it in a structure that is concise so that you can get it out there to your audience. But it should just come out naturally. But none of this matters if you think having a channel is going to take too much time because of editing. And when you film with good light and you have clear audio and you already know your talking points, you know what you're going to say and you say it good, you're going to spend so much less time fixing a lot of things in editing. Because most editing headaches that people run into come from footage that's hard to film and you're trying to piece it together because you had bad light or you had muffled sound or you rambled too much because you didn't know what to say. That makes editing so much harder. And if you can fix those things, editing is just going to be so easy. And one more little tip here. Don't refilm the same 10 seconds over and over trying to get it perfect. Aim for good enough and keep going. It's okay to be slightly imperfect. I film my videos in one long take. And that way, if I mess up, I don't stop the recording. I just pause. I stay still. I smile. And I try to stay in that same physical position and start that line over. Because that pause is very important. It gives you a clear cutting place in your editing. And I keep looking at the camera and I repeat the line over. It makes editing so much faster. So don't try to get all fancy with your editing. Cut out your mistakes and your long pauses. And I've cut down so much of my editing time by keeping it simple like this. And if you want help with any of this, I offer one-on-one coaching and I can help you get started. Or maybe you've already started and you're ready to grow and make some money. And I call it the YouTube Growth Accelerator Program. The link is in the description if you want to come check it out. Or you can hop on a free Zoom call with me and we'll talk about where you want to go. So don't let any of these things stop you from having a YouTube channel, because I feel like every business needs a YouTube channel. And if you'll take some of the tips and tricks that I taught you here today, write it down on paper, get you a good checklist going, I feel like it will make it so much easier for you, and you won't have that fear of being on camera. You won't have that dread every time you sit down to think about what you're going to say. And if you want to go deeper on editing made easier, just go watch this video next. I'll link it right here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.